Rain and Perry.
In 1,000 feet, use the right 2 lanes to keep right.
Hey friends, it is Monday, August 16, 2021, and I'm so glad we get to prepare to go there today. Welcome to the most overlooked and underrated coaching conversation on the internet, and that's my opinion, but I'm just convinced that our future deserves our focus today. If you are a future friend, if you are watching online right now, go ahead and say hi in the chat. Let me know, where are you watching from? This is going to be an important conversation for us as emerging leaders because we're talking about lifestyle leadership today. And before we go too much further, my name is Peter, and it has been a joy to go on this extended coaching journey with you. An invitation to friends and leaders alike. And I think we all want to make a difference, go the distance. We all want to pioneer the future. I mean, come on, what other choice do we have? The future is so seemingly unpredictable, and yet somehow I believe we can make it unforgettable still. So welcome back to the Future Frontier, where we are learning how to stay focused practically on the future and then lead ourselves there day by day. I've learned through experience and observation that most people don't know how to lead others into a better future because they haven't been there first. Hi, Tasha. Welcome. But when we learn how to lead ourselves, then we can take others with us. All right. So this is really just an invitation for people who want to learn, how do you stay focused practically on the future, where it doesn't just drift off to the back burner, but this is where you put it back on the front burner where it belongs. It's where you can take action day by day towards meaningful, intentional goals, dreams, values. And so it's focusing, not just daydreaming, which is a difference. And then it's learning the mindset and the skill sets to actually tactically lead yourself day by day. I mean, I think our world is kind of built around self-leadership right now. It's never been a better time to grow in self-leadership than right now. There's a lot of opportunities for self-leaders. And really, it is the beginning of the leadership conversation. I believe it is kind of the missing element, the fault line in the leadership conversation, because so many people want to learn how to, automate and leverage and scale and delegate, but it really starts with us. We have to look in the mirror. We have to take ownership, and then we can export that success. And so leadership, which we're going to talk about a little bit later, is like a living tree, right? You have to have the roots growing underground, and then you can have a strong core, and then it branches out. And that's kind of leadership in a nutshell. Self-leadership is growing underground. It's what you do that people don't see. And then you can lead a team that is a strong core, and then you can empower people to branch out and lead beyond you, and then repeat that process again and again. So lead yourself, lead others, and lead through others. All right, I want to invite you to join the email community. We call it the Future Friends. I want to help you find some more friends for your future, people that will help you and encourage you and equip you. And basically, the Future Friends get a weekly email of all of this content. So whether you're tuning in or not, it'll go straight to your email inbox, great content and all the things we're talking through. And then you'll also get the info and incentives for the online coaching course that's coming soon, and some other fun opportunities. We are coming up on the 50th episode of Prepare to Go There. So we're still kind of fresh in the live stream, I guess, vlog or podcast space, whatever that is. But it's a milestone for me nonetheless. And so we're going to be celebrating that one in a big way. So be listening for some sort of giveaway that's going to be dropping for the 50th episode. But you don't have to wait until then. I want to give you something right now. It is a free fail-proof planning guide. And if you just click the link at the bottom here, you'll go to a sign-in page. Just name an email, and that'll get you into the email community. And then you'll get a free fail-proof planning guide. It really helps you get going, get better with your planning process. It's not a perfect one-and-done plan, because there's no such thing. Instead, this is going to help you look at the future, which feels so shaky. And instead of looking at it and feeling more fragile, you're actually going to become more agile. You'll be able to assess and adapt as needed. And it's going to walk you through step by step through a planning process that'll help you get clear on those high level goals, and then identify some rhythms that you can work on, and then put that into daily practice. So free email gift to you. All right, let's dive in real quick. I just got a few minutes with you right now, but I want to answer the question, what is lifestyle leadership? And simply put, it is when leadership becomes your lifestyle, when you have a lifestyle approach to leading yourself, leading others, and then leading through others. And this is very different than a lot of people would think about leadership, because they think leadership is a title. They think leadership is a job. They think leadership is something on the org chart. But really, leadership is a gift. It is a identity. It is a passion that becomes personalized in and through your actions, interactions, and reactions. And so how do we make that paradigm shift into lifestyle leadership? And then where does it show up personally? And so that's hopefully what we're going to get into today. This is going to be a week-long conversation. We're just going to hit it one checkpoint at a time. And my passion is to stay practical as possible, because we don't have time for theories or theater. We have to get to work. We have to be taking ground and going after uncharted territory. So I hope that this is going to give you some action steps that you can be taking today and this week. So stay in touch with that. But a quote that I came across, I thought it was pretty cool. It says, our chief want is someone who will inspire us to be what we know we could be. I think that's lifestyle leadership. I think that sums it up, that we are not requiring people, but we are inspiring people to lead themselves. when you have experienced the difference between micromanagement and self-leadership, you never want to go back. You want to export that to as many friends, as many team members as possible. It's a crazy way to live because you have to take ownership for where you are. You have to face the facts, but it actually is a part of a healing process and an empowering process that you can multiply to yourself, your team, and beyond. And I really want you to catch this. Lifestyle leadership is an unstoppable way of living because so many people are waiting on someone else or something else when really you could be leading today. You could be taking ownership today. You could be leveling up today. And if you do that consistently, just by being willing to keep going and keep growing, literally, you say, I'm not going to quit and I'm not going to forget the learning journey I'm on. So many people actually opt out of big opportunities simply because they forget the goals that they set in the first place. They forget the roles that they value in the first place. It's not because it's so impossible. It's because we get so frayed at the edges. We get so distracted or discouraged or worse, disqualified. And instead, we need to stay focused and we need to keep going, keep growing in the same direction. And over time, what happens is a big idea can really become your bold identity. So the little stuff, everyday stuff, does add up over time. So I want to just kind of go through some quick thoughts and then give you some action steps to go. Lifestyle leadership is when you are focused on leading yourself, and then in that process, leadership becomes your lifestyle. You know what it means to stay motivated, to get results, to grow, to serve, to have integrity and intentionality. And you want to develop a leadership style that is more relational than institutional. You're not just saying, I'm a leader because I have a badge. I'm a leader because I have a title, because I fit there in the org chart, because I have a brand, I have followers. None of that really holds water when we talk about lifestyle leadership. And this is not an original idea in a sense, but it needs to be common sense again, because this is where it all starts. And this is what I found. If you cannot be confident or competent, just standing alone, just standing on your own 2 feet, and introducing yourself with your name, then what are you investing into? Like, I don't want to be propped up by all of this other stuff if I'm not really growing as a person that can be a strength and not a burden. So lifestyle leadership is a lifestyle of leading yourself, leading others, and then leading through others. It's relational, and over time, it becomes influential. Now, I think the OG of all of this is John Maxwell. He's a legendary leader, and he says, leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. Man, that's so true. That is so good. And he's written a lot of books. I would refer you to go check that out. But, I want to get actually into the action steps. What does that look like? Where do we begin? So the first thing is understanding we can lead others by living authentically in front of them. We lead others by living authentically in front of them. Sometimes we think that the best leaders among us are like these gladiators, these Olympic champions of old, or these like demigods, and they, we've got all the armor on and the weapons, and like we're these warriors, and we're just going to assert all of this strength. And by no means am I, discounting on the strength and the raw force of just life that's coming out of a real leader. But sometimes we think that persona is going to strike people in a way that demands some sort of respect. And all I'm saying is, are you willing to lead people the way you want to be led? Like, if that inspires you, go for it. But if you think that you're going to have a different standard than other people, then you're missing the point. And, you kind of have the pyramid scheme approach where the leaders are on top and then everybody else is kind of carrying the load or building the burden. But instead, the leadership model can be flipped. It's like more like a tree where the roots are underground. You really don't see that strength, but it's nurturing and it's supplying life and it's going up. And then leadership is actually being distributed. Leadership is actually being empowered. Leadership is actually going up and out to more and more people. So, you look at the lifestyle leadership approach. Are you willing to live authentically in front of people? Not with armor, not with some sort of costume, not with some sort of charade, but just living as genuinely and authentically as you know how. Living as honestly with all of the good, the bad, the ugly, and just saying, hey, I am on a journey. Come along with me. Just saying, hey, I have found a way of life that is intentional, that is meaningful, that is sustainable. And I'm going to go down this way whether people go with me or not. That kind of raw courage and real curiosity and genuine companionship is so appealing. It's so compelling. People say, hey, I want to go on that journey too. And I think that it's really struck a chord with a lot of people because you're seeing so many, quote, influencers, right? All these influencers online. And that's cool because people like to see real people, real life. They want to see the content that's actually like simpler. They don't want to see all of the movie effects. They want to see something that is real and authentic. There's a lot of authority in authenticity. And then when we're authentic, then we're tapping into a deeper level of influence. But if we're unwilling to be transparent, if we're unwilling to just speak things honestly and truthfully, and if we're unwilling to take the shots the same way we give the shots, then we're not experiencing lifestyle leadership yet. And what happens is when we have that more top-down approach, it's very easy to hide. It's easy to distance ourselves from other people. And it's built on this idea that I can lead from a distance. But lifestyle leadership requires us to get in proximity with other people. And when we get in proximity with other people, we are letting them look into the way we do life. We're letting them look at how we act, interact, and react to what's going on around us. And we're modeling values. We're modeling just a way of life that is enjoyable, meaningful, sustainable. We're not trying to say, do this or else. We're saying, I'm going this way with you or without you, and you're welcome to come along. I just think that idea of saying, hey, I'm going this way, you're welcome to come, That's pretty cool. And I've been so influenced by people that were just willing to let me tag along, to ride shotgun in their lifestyle, their philosophy, so to speak. So celebrity status is a big deal. There are so many people that have got their followers and all that stuff, but the dark side of the influencer culture is that it's not genuine. It's still not authentic. Maybe you've heard of some of these influencers. They're renting planes or renting cars or renting houses. They're kind of making it look like they're living this perfect luxury lifestyle, and it's not genuine. And so that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about being fake. I'm not talking about being, putting on some show, because if you're willing to live like hypocritical, then don't be surprised when people get hypercritical. A critical attitude will always follow pretenders, and you get cynical, you get jaded. You say, oh, that's not real. That's not. And we're constantly looking for authenticity and real, genuine people, particularly on the internet, because it's really hard to come by. So there's so many of you right now, and you're struggling with this thing called imposter syndrome. And so what I would say is stop pretending and keep preparing. Stop pretending, keep preparing. There's a big difference. You're not pretending, you're preparing. You're in process. You know that you're not there yet. That's okay. Show people where you are. Show people where you are in the journey. Show people where you are with your thoughts, your life, your calendar, your schedule, your habits. Like, be willing to let people look in your life, and that in and of itself creates rapport. That in and of itself creates credibility. I mean, it's crazy to think that just being transparent is enough to get a conversation started and to create space for a community of other people to come along. So that's my encouragement to you, is if you are putting all of this energy and all of this work into keeping up appearances, you don't know which version of yourself to follow up on. I mean, you got all of these different compartmentalized versions of your life. You got your work life and your school life and your online life and your community life and your family life and your private life and your, whatever. You got all of these different versions of who you are trying to be or want to be. And it's unmanageable. It's unbearable. And I would say cut through all of it, be authentic, learn how to lead yourself, quit caring about what other people think about you, and do your work. Like, keep preparing. Like, while you are putting up this front that you've arrived, you're not there. And you could be spending that time actually preparing, actually taking steps to go places. And so that's why I always say, you're going places, so prepare to go there. You're going places in the future, so prepare to go there. Don't pretend that you're somewhere you're not. Don't pretend that you're somebody you're not. Instead, just be honest, be authentic, be okay with your long game, and lead people with a focused lifestyle, not this, this itch to impress people. Don't do that. You'll waste so much time if you take on that lifestyle approach. And so even, I think it really shows up with us personally, with our values, our habits, our rhythms. I think those are 3 places we can really lead ourselves. Your values. Do you know your roles? Do you know your goals? Have you written them down? Have you revisited them lately? Like, it only takes 10 minutes, but it could really help you the next 10 months, maybe the next 10 years. Are you very clear on the roles that you value, on the goals that are associated with them. And then when you get some values that you want to start expressing, some values that you say, this is an idea that I value, I'm going to start integrating it into my lifestyle. And that's what I love. I love the word lifestyle. It has the word style in it, which implies design thinking, implies intentionality, and even some learning as you go. And so you get to design your lifestyle. It becomes a expression of your deepest values. It becomes a artifact of the journey and the process that you are on, and I'm grateful that I don't have to be living like some Olympic performance all the time, that I can literally just be in process. I can just live a grateful life, and I can begin to see real, organic, life-changing fruit, so to speak, metaphorically, coming out of my life. Like, if there's anything good that's happening to me, it's because I'm growing, not because I'm perfect. If you see something that's cool, if you hear something that's cool, it's because I'm growing, not because I'm perfect. I'm not. I'm being perfected by values that are worth embodying and that are worth embracing, and hopefully are going to be worth empowering to other people. So you gotta get after your values. Start with your values. Write them down, pen and paper. Roles and goals. How am I doing? What am I doing now? What am I doing next? Those kind of questions. I talk a lot about Future Fridays. Maybe you've heard of it before. I think it's important to give your future dedicated real estate in your calendar. So I say start with at least 30 minutes a week, then bump it to 1 hour a week, and then go big and aim for 4 hours, a 4-hour block somewhere in your week. I call it Future Friday because Friday is my off day. But man, give that time and just go take a field trip into the future and just stand in the future and look at it and say, okay, what's possible, what's important, and identify with your future. And then come back and then start figuring out, how do you get there? Start living out, what would that look like? If that were true in the future, what would that look like today? There's an author named Keenan McCallahan, I think. And he says, we look to the future to know what to do in the present. I love that, because so many people are living past present when really we can be living future present. We're not trying, to act like we're somebody we're not, or go somewhere we're not yet, but we identify with a horizon line that is beyond us, and it inspires us, it calls to us, and it keeps us going, keeps us growing. And if you have that kind of built in, something in you that says, I'm not going to quit, and I'm not going to forget, and I'm going to just keep going, keep growing, you are unstoppable. I really believe that the right values will always win in the end. So get really clear on your goals and roles. Your habits are important, and then translate that into habits that you can build one at a time. Now, habits are like building blocks. Just like your calendar is made of time blocks. So that's cool. Well, maybe we can get to that connection later. Feel free, if you have a question, throw it in the chat. I'm kind of riffing right now. Just kind of starting a week-long conversation. So we're going to go in a few different areas. Like tomorrow, we're going to talk about how do you actually grow your lifestyle leadership? How do you actually grow your carrying capacity? Maybe you say, I can only handle this much responsibility or this much of, of what's possible, but I want to grow as a person. I want to lead myself in new and needed ways. We're going to talk about how do you actually stretch yourself and see your carrying capacity grow, where you're not just going year by year and having life updates, but you're actually having life upgrades. See, that's so important. And a lot of people don't do that. I don't know why, but they don't do that. They think life updates, not life upgrades. They are living the same life, 50 times, 50 years. They're just having the same cycles, the same mindsets, the same relationships over and over and over, instead of actually cultivating a life-giving, ongoing, ever-growing, journey, life. And so you can actually level up, you can upgrade. But then after that, we're going to talk about how do you leverage your lifestyle leadership without losing your authenticity? How do you actually let people look into your lifestyle as a way to influence them, as a way to help them, as a way to empower them without becoming cheesy and cliche or some sort of, car salesman? No offense if you're a car salesman. How do you actually develop influence and be authentic and transparent without losing those special parts of your lifestyle that were grown under the shade of some sort of personal importance and meaningfulness? Because sometimes if something grows when it's underground and then you bring it out in front of everybody else, then it kind of loses the meaning, the punch of it all. So we're going to talk about that. And then the last day, Thursday, we'll talk about how do you actually lead a team, because I think every one of you are on a path of empowerment towards leading teams and organizations and communities and movements. And so that's why we're putting so much influence now, because I don't want you to scale and then break down later. I don't want to, really gun it and you take off on the highway, figuratively speaking, and then you didn't do the necessary servicing on your interior, on your relational infrastructure, and then there's a breakdown later on, there's a blowout later on. So I would much rather intentional coaching than an inconvenient counseling, and I would much rather you go the distance and make a difference, and you're actually putting in that work now. You're doing the necessary preparation now, and it goes unnoticed. And you may go for months or years of just putting in all of this good stuff, but then when you show up, you actually show up ready, because you're making a commitment. I'm not just going to rise to the occasion. I don't know what I'll do when I'm called upon, whether it's a good opportunity or like an obstacle, some sort of real challenge, some adversity. I don't know what's in me yet. So I got to keep putting the right stuff in me. So when I am called to action, I'm not just going to rise to the occasion. I'm going to fall back on my preparation. I'm going to fall back on all of the things I was doing in private. I believe privates come before generals. In other words, the things you do in private are going to show up in general, right? When everyone's seen, when everyone's out there. So it's funny, when I started this coaching conversation, these live streams, I was so just unsure about how it would go, how I would do all this stuff. I put it on my website with like one link. It wasn't even going out to YouTube yet. And I just put on the top, hard to find for a reason. And that was how I got started. But over time, I've been putting in the reps. I've been showing up. I've been learning about the software. I've been learning about interacting online. I've been kind of watching the play-by-play, getting your feedback. I'm going up to my 50-yard line. The next checkpoint is 50. And I'm saying, okay, I'm learning as I go. And I'm not trying to show up and just be perfect. But if there's any good that you're seeing, it's because it's evidence that I'm growing. I'm growing. And the best among us are learning. We're growing. We are actualizing our human potential. And I don't mean that in like some weird psychedelic way. I mean our God-given patent to live on an amazing level. And we're doing things that glorify God. We're living with intentionality and integrity. And for whatever reason, people they don't think about themselves in that way. They think about the carrot or the stick. They think about, the next prize. They think about the next hill. They think about the destination, and they're not putting in the work during the journey. They're not okay. They're not content with just going on that journey. And then they look back and they say, man, this prize that I got, this accomplishment that I got, this title that I got, it's not panning out. It's not working. And we get frustrated with the job. We get frustrated with the team that we're leading. We get frustrated with the position that we have because it's not working, when the truth is we weren't working. We weren't working on ourselves. So we're looking for something to be handed to us instead of us bringing the value with us. And I don't want you to just be some 2D cartoon character that's only cool online. I want you to actually live an awesome life in 3D, like in real life. I want you to have an awesome life where what if, oh my goodness, this is amazing. This is so important. You got to hear this. Listen up right now. What if your lifestyle is actually infinitely better than what it appears to be online? What if your offline life is actually leagues better than your online life? Most people in a misunderstood or misdirected, misguided influencer culture, and I want to help influencers for sure, because they're amazing, they're real people, and they're figuring out life as well. But what the influencer culture just turns into, my online life looks better than my offline life. But what if it's the opposite? What if it could be different? What if your real life, your offline life, is actually better than your online life? And it's when you put that kind of effort and intentionality and integrity, and you're living authentically, even when you share it, you build rapport, you make connections, you have influence, you're leading by example, you're taking responsibility, you're seeing growth and steps and stages. People look at that and they go, whoa, what happened? I thought you were there, but now you're way over there. It's like, yeah, because I didn't wait for people to pay attention to me. I just kept going. I just kept growing. I'm not in this for the applause. I'm not in this for your attention. It's amazing what we can do when we don't care who is paying attention. And we just keep going, keep growing, because we know that there is value, inherent value in the game we're playing, the life we're living. And I don't know how this is going to come across, but I'm just going to say, openly, honestly, there is so much that is uncontrollable right now in our world that you're going to let all the uncontrollables control you. And I get it. There's like a lot that needs to be investigated and exposed and talked about. And we got to work on stuff, and we got to change stuff and all this stuff. We got all these different issues going on, culturally, politically, spiritually, all this stuff. But what does that actually do with you? Where do you come into this? And I believe that simple steps, intentional steps in a meaningful direction will make a difference. If you just keep going, keep growing, don't quit, don't forget who you are, where you're going, enjoy the journey, you are going to see loads of progress. And it's going to be so inspiring to other people, because you're trying to live in a way that is authentic. And then people look at that and they say, I can do that. I can't be the rock star. I can't be, the demigod. I can't be the expert, but I can be a learner. I can grow. I can keep trying. I can keep showing up. And they enjoy your company. Like, I'm not trying to build this whole coaching thing on the fact that I'm some guru, because I'm not. But what I can do is say that I've been on this same journey for many, many years, and I have joy and I have focus and I'm loving the life I'm living right now. And I can't take credit for it, but I can share some of the mindsets and the skill sets that not just got me here, but that are helping me get to the next checkpoint. And I want to just keep people encouraged. I just want to keep you encouraged because your future is so worth it. Is so worth it. It's like that old joke or adage, whatever it is. My future's so bright, I got to wear shades. It's like I want you to really take today seriously. We look to the future to see what to do in the present. So for real, don't be blaming other people and other things for stuff you can take responsibility of right now. Look at your roles, look at your goals, look at your habits. I need to mention that tomorrow. And then look at your rhythms and let's go for it. Let's go for it. Let's have an awesome day. Let's have an awesome week. Let's have an awesome life. I mean, what if you could actually inspire people to go the same direction as you? You know what that looks like? It looks like a movement. It looks like a movement of everyday people that have taken big ideas and turned them into bold identities. And that's totally different than this, whatever that other style of leadership is, whatever that heavy-handed, overpowering, oppressive, abusive, relationship leadership style is. Manipulation and all this kinds of weird control and just goofy stuff, twisted, toxic stuff. We don't have any part of it. And instead, let's just stay rooted. Let's keep growing underground. Let's be grateful. Let's be growing. And let's become a strength and not a burden. So that is your motivation for today. Thank you for tuning in to the Motivation Station. And what I hope it encourages you to do is just get after the mundane Monday and turn it into momentum and say, yeah, I'm going to get back on my goals. I'm going to get back on my calendar. I'm going to get back on my routines. I'm going to get back on all that stuff I knew I should have been doing. I'm going to get my future, things I've been talking about, dreaming about, praying about. I'm going to put it back on the front burner where it belongs. I'm going to make more space. I'm going to clear the clutter. I'm going to do this. It's like the Avengers when Peter Quill's like, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to get a Bowflex. I'm going to get a Bowflex. It's like, you don't have to get an insult to get a Bowflex, y'all. Just stay encouraged. Don't quit and don't forget. And you'll be on your track. So I really appreciate you being a part of this conversation. My goal is to keep company with the friends and emerging leaders that are going places in the future to help them work on the practical stuff so that way they can prepare to go there. If this has been helpful to you, go ahead and subscribe, share the link with a friend. I really appreciate it. And I want to remind you, there is a free fail-proof planning guide waiting on you. Man, take action today. Do it today. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, but the second best is today. So get after it. Join the Future Friends. Get all the emails and jump in when and where you can. Remember, you're going places, but you got to prepare to go there. So I will see you tomorrow with another coaching conversation. How do we actually grow a lifestyle of leadership? And it's going to be fun. See you then.